Bandro Coperna, divine guidance, ifo son torfo, alokui sefer lan, darawan, yufo, bandro su.
Hi, I'm Patricia McNair, your host of Divine Guidance with Patricia. If you are bursting to embrace and strengthen your connection to your divine guidance, your whole being, this is the show for you. Join me the first and third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com. Are you ready to discover the amazing gift of the universe that is you? On Divine Guidance with Patricia, Spirit and I will trigger you to embrace and validate the light that you are. On my show, I will bring you thought-provoking, inspiring messages designed to ignite a spark of spiritual awareness, the first step to becoming a whole being. Join me on Divine Guidance with Patricia and discover your gifts and awaken your true sense of self to embrace and empower your spiritual, mental, and emotional well-being. Divine Guidance with Patricia starts now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. Wow. Today, happy equinox. Wow. Can you believe it's here already? Feels like I was just sitting here doing the winter solstice show. A lot of magnificent, freaking phenomenal things are happening on this planet and in this universe right now. There's no words that can explain my passion for what's happening and the little tiny part that I am honored to be a part of. You know, years ago, Lord Michael came to us when we were doing some of our earth work. I think we were in Australia at the time at Uluru. And the releases were out of this world. And what I mean by releases is transmuting some of the lockdown negative energy at sacred places around the world, and physically having to go there with our presence and stand there and unlock some lockdown seals that weren't meant to be there, and feeling that energy, because when you transmute it, you're it. And not knowing at the time how to use our gifts properly, like everyone else, we were just groping through. And the immense energies that one would feel transmuting that energy in and through us and back to the gold ray was pretty much intense. And so we got better at it as best as we could be. And learned how to update our toolkit and do our work in a more profound way. But when Lord Michael came to us and said there was an error and it has to be felt, well, he wasn't kidding. So Lord Michael, you know, I'm feeling it today, love. And when you're feeling it, you know you're doing it. So one thing I've always told everyone is I'm here to do my work. Who knows what it is half the time, but I'm here to do it. And so anyone who is waking up or becoming more aware of the energetics of what's happening on this beautiful, beautiful Mother Earth, and you're not quite sure what's hitting you and what's going through you and what you're releasing, whether it's self or whether it's outside of self or whether it's part of a high energy download that also can feel uncomfortable. Just know that if you're in any of that, just stand in your holy light and just ask that anything that is to be transmuted off and from your being go back to the gold ray and divine love fill you up. So when you release things out, everyone, remember, you also need to fill yourself back up again. So you always call back the divine love that you truly are, all your whole being, your whole light being, and the creator. Fill me back up. Help me fill back up with the gold ray. So it's always full circle sharing. When you release stuff off, you also have to refill those spots. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but it's what I was asked to do just now as a music stop. So you are doing it. That's the one thing. You are doing it. You may not know exactly what it all is, but if you are feeling any energies in and through you and you're releasing them, no matter if it's through coughing or crying or dancing or loving or even just feeling frustrated and confused, you're doing it. So everyone out there, every single one of your little beings, whether you're a butterfly, a beetle, a whale, a human, a tree, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So with that said, thank you for being here too. So we have back our beautiful Commander Iltron, who I'm so deeply blessed and honored to have as part of my life and connected to. And everything that I just shared is not news to this person. This divine being has been transmuting, clearing, bringing in, waking up, kicking over, and bringing the best of the universe back into this plane and dimension. So, Commander Iltron, can you just give us a brief intro again for people who missed your last show? And welcome back, darling. So happy to have you.
Thank you, Patricia, for having me. It's a great honor and privilege to be here and serving alongside with humanity. I'm a ninth Octurian commander, is one of the many titles I carry. But most importantly, I'm a guardian, and I am on the ground crew with many of you. I'm going to be bringing some things forward that might rock the world, as I usually do, as I did in the last live, as you may recall. Sorry.
Do it.
I'm very authentic. I don't play games. It's black and white with me. But I want to say that knowledge protects while ignorance harms. So it's very important to look those ugly things in the face so that it cannot manipulate us later. So I want to cultivate energetic discernment, personal responsibility to use what you need, and then just discard the rest if you're not ready for this today. And I'd like to welcome all of the beings that are on this chat and that will be reviewing this chat. We are so excited to be working alongside you. You all play such an important part. And thank you for having me back.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. You know what? No, sorry, just be self. Authenticity is what rocks. I have talked to you since our last show, and I'll share with the audience what I shared with you, because I'm pretty raw and real. Is I love having you on with me because I can flow. I realized, and thank you for this. You brought truth into my being by having you on the show last time. Is that I hold back more than what I need to with this show. So this show is going to rock and roll a little bit more deeper and a little bit more real. And I myself have been holding back. And I know I've been providing a platform for other people to come and share, but that doesn't mean I have to sit in the background while I do that. So thank you for that truth that you brought forward to me. It's helped me to grow.
Let's go ahead. Let's roll.
Let's rock and roll. So, last show we talked about the organites and how beautiful they were and what they actually do. And since then, I think you've had some beautiful communication with some beings who actually are excited to come forward and communicate with beings on this planet. And one of them being the Yeti. We also talked about the praying mantis. So I just want to say to the viewers out there, if you had dreams or conscious thoughts or knowing of not the eagle or the elephant or the things out of the normal trajectory of what spiritual animals and guides are, you're there. These beings are extremely high vibration, and they're really coming forward. So don't discount any of the beings that are trying to communicate with you, is what I'm saying. They don't all fit into one little glove box, right?
Absolutely. I do want to share, I can share with a lot of the viewers. I have a Yeti. He's a friend of mine, and for simplicity, he doesn't have a English translated name. I call him Ted. He travels with us. Ted, it's just easy. He travels on our ships. And so I know you're thinking right now, the viewers are thinking about Chewbacca. Yeah, where do you think they got the idea for Chewbacca? Exactly. The Yetis, yes. They are galactic beings as well. They serve alongside of us, and they are helping save humanity. A lot of them are from, and they went to the inner earth, and they are able to come up through the portals from the inner earth. They like to go back and forth. They work tightly with the scientist, the mantis, which I don't know how many of you are familiar with mantis beings, but the mantis beings are the scientists of the ships. They help us cloak. So they're very useful, very highly intelligent. They also are galactic doctors when needed. As you know, we heal in the higher realms, but sometimes it's very difficult shifting dimensions, going back and forth. So there's like a decompression that takes place. We do have watches that would appear to humans as watches, and it helps us transmigrate back and forth through realms when we do travel. So I do know the Yetis have come back to Earth and are becoming more and more visible. They are fifth dimensional beings and higher. You can communicate with them very easily by telepathy, and they like to hear from you. They enjoy you bringing them gifts. Set the gifts in trees. They'll find them. They love it. They love. Actually, our ground crew just recently came up with a great idea. They make little Yeti keychains. They're organites. They're actually organites, and they are on earthfamilycrystals.com. It looks like Valor and Company, which is Earth Family Crystals, is in the chat. So I'm guessing it's probably Kelly, one of the owners of Earth Family Crystals, is live with us from what I'm seeing on my end. Thank you, Kelly, for being here. How exciting. Maybe you can post the Organite, or somebody can post the Organite link in there so anyone can just go directly to your site. Because the ground crew works with Earth Family Crystals because they ship globally. Our goal has been getting these Organites all across the globe for the ascension. They're not into it for making money. They are simply trying to get this technology out. And it's very, very important for the ascension. We have about 1,500 Yetis on our base where our fifth dimensional Earth is. So it's very normal for us to communicate with them and know exactly what they need.
That's amazing. Anyone who's had any type of vision or knowing of Yetis, this is a time, this is absolutely the time that we're being invited by the Yetis now. We're actually being invited by them. They're excited to communicate with us now. They're excited to have us work with them, and it's amazing. It's an amazing time because most of the Yeti stories are, oh, they don't want to be seen, they disappear. Now, I think it's just complete validation, isn't it, Commander Iltron, that they're wanting to actually have that connection with us.
They don't only want to have connection, they want to have relationships with us,
the
Earth beings. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So what would one do besides bring a gift? What would one do to reach out to even telepathically or energetically to Yetis, let's say on your property, or if you're walking in the forest, what would one do to initiate that?
Well, before you initiate any kind of spiritual contact, you should always 12D shield. That's the 12th dimensional portal. Lisa Renee originally came out with it. Obviously, she's a Syrian walk-in. She has that on her site. I know Ascension Superpowers on the TikTok Guardian_Commander. There's a 12D shield on there. Ascension Superpowers 7776 on YouTube. There's a free 12D shielding. You shouldn't have to pay. First and foremost, the listeners, you shouldn't have to pay for anything. You know, these were tools that were provided to us by the higher beings. You do your 12th dimensional shield, very simple. That way you're only communicating with the higher beings. And you simply go into your heart space and just call them in. Usually you should be out in nature and consistently do it. And believe me, you're going to start hearing from them. You're going to start, some may be able to see them. It depends on what your giftings are, but you'll know when, they'll let you know when they're there. I mean, I've actually had some here in the location where we are, where they like to get involved with the horses. The light, you got to understand, all animals are light beings. They hold the light. They are light holders. You know, the humans don't even realize how important the beings are, how important the plants are. And everybody needs to focus on the community as far as a collective, plants, beings, rocks, crystals, divas, you know, the elementals. So many, everyone forgets about these things, and we are all one. And we're here to help guide one another. But you only, like I said, you still need to do that spiritual protection shielding, because when you do that, you don't have to be concerned about these negative forces tapping in. They can't go through the shield. You're protected. That's my recommendation.
Absolutely. And also just, you know, put your foot down, you know, I'm calling in only that. And everything else, you do not have any rights. You do not have my permission. You do not, you know, and just stand in who you are and just say no. You know, I relate it to, you know, having somebody in my home. You know, if I don't want somebody in my home, they're stopped at the driveway, and that's 250 feet down, right? So my energetics is already there, discerning who's permitted and who's not permitted, you know, in my space. So that is, knowing that you have that power and that right and that responsibility is really what's going to get a lot of people through now. So what we might do is we might take a quick break now, Sierra, and we'll put up the Yeti video from TikTok from Commander Iltron's channel.
Oh yeah, I think the listeners are going to love that.
Okay.
My ground crew did a great job on that.
I love it. I played it over and over and over. So we'll put that up, Sierra, if that's okay, and we'll be right back after this break.
Inner Earth is home to many unusual, highly intelligent beings that utilize advanced technology. These future humans look very much like humans, except they live longer, appearing younger, taller and more symmetrical. Some of the Inner Earth beings traverse to the surface to take genetic samples and monitor Earth. They commute between our dimension and 5D. Humans call them Bigfoot or Sasquatch. These highly intelligent beings prefer the name Yeti. They are hairy humanoids standing 6 to 9 feet tall, with a human face and ape-like body. These beings are occasionally seen foraging for roots, berries, grasses, and nuts, as they are mostly strict vegetarians. The Harry and the Hendersons movie was a documentary. Yetis prefer to stay away from human influence and use a higher sensory perception ability, which allows them to remain hidden. As highly intelligent beings and senses modulated through more functioning DNA, they can spontaneously induce invisibility through an electromagnetic psychic shield around themselves. Yetis also have a dwarf species which are depicted as fictional Ewoks in the movie Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Whether tall or short, most Yetis possess a human soul that originated from eternal God source. Yetis serve in the galactic and battle evil forces with us. Remember Chewbacca from Star Wars? Chewbacca was not so fictional after all. Where do you think George Lucas got this fictional character? Eradicating fear is the key to reaching energetic coherence in your expanding consciousness. This will usher in the first contact with many extraterrestrial beings. They are excited to meet all of you.
Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. I always get triggered by my own music. It's so, I don't know, it touches my heart and soul. So I'm so glad it's part of my show. So we're back. I hope you enjoyed that TikTok video of the Yeti. So amazing. I watched it over and over and over when Commander Iltron sent it to me. So we're back with Commander Iltron, and she made me aware during the break that we have some people chatting. I'm not able to see that yet, but my next shows going forward, I'll be able to. So can you enlighten us what's going on in the chat, Commander Iltron?
Yeah, absolutely. In the chat, we have Valor and Company, which appears to be Kelly, the owner of Earth Family Crystals, which is exciting because that's who our ground crew collaborates with her. I see my number one. She's a galactic, Christine Marie. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Shekinah Glory is here from England. Looks like Antonietta Lorio. Welcome. Let's see. I'm just going down. Those are the ones I see right now. So thank you for being here on the live. So exciting to see.
Yes, thank you so much. And I will have my show set up so that I can be part of that interactive, because I miss talking with the audience as well. I'm also going to be asking Commander Iltron if she would like to do something consistent a little bit, not scheduled in, in stone, but do a little bit of stuff on my Rumble channel that I just created. So you may be hearing more of us on there.
Before we go into the elementals, Patricia, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk briefly about gurus right now, because there's a lot of light workers that are pretending to be light workers. And what people don't realize is that they're blindly following the leaders, and they're easily giving away their authority because they've been traumatized through so many lifetimes of the master slave or guru disciple archetypes. Most of these recruitments for spiritual communities use a similar template that can be immediately recognized, and that would be the power to interplay between the guru and disciple archetypes. And what you need to remember is that the DNA is a form of currency that is traded on and off planet societies, and they're controlled by the Orion's money black magic, as is Earth. So the ET groups contacts one of its human representatives on Earth, meaning that the contactee or the abductee has the same DNA history from other lifetimes or share the same social complex memories. Many times the ET groups target a person with world service contracts that are to make karmic restitution or amends, such as the human that had their memories erased, but were in high positions of power in other timelines. Let me give you an example. Galactic ambassadors, ship captains, public leaders, pharaohs, freedom fighters, popes, people that had high recognition level. And what I want you to understand and make you wiser, recruiting these leaders from previous lifetimes would make it so much easier for other people of the earth to be stimulated to follow them in an organized group without questioning their motives, because they've had followed that person before in another lifetime. They recognize them on a soul level, and consciousness memories can be manipulated easily into sensory feelings that are hard to discern. And I just want to bring that out there, because be careful who you follow, guys, please. You're my brother and sisters, and so many are being deceived right now. And I just can't sit and just watch it happen. I of course have to speak up because I'm a guardian.
that just, you know me, I'm real. That touched my heart and soul. I've been here, and I've always said it's about value, not volume. I can speak from my whole being. Every word you just shared is just so freaking sadly true. You know, I always say the seer doesn't get seen because they don't make a scene. But that's not exactly the whole story. The whole story is there's so much intel out there about the physical information and this and EBS and whatever and all that's going on. That's fine. And people give away a lot of power to that as well. But what's hurt me for almost all my life, even since I was a little girl, is the fact that people buy the garbage that's been programmed as spirituality, because spirituality is so much more simpler, so much more beautiful. There's just no way to describe it. And when you've been up against this stream, trying to share and empower people to know that, I mean, and people say it, these gurus say, oh, it's all within, go within, go within and sit in the sandbox. No, they're right. It's all within, but it's not just within. You are all, no, you are an expansion of all that you are in the universe, walking in form. And allowing people to find their way, just creating that sacred space, just triggering some of the memory, allowing them to know how divine and precious and freaking beautiful they are. Not the person on the pedestal, not the person charging $5,000 for an activation of what? What are you talking about? Anyways, this is a topic. Get me started. I should do a whole
It's not even just that. I mean, it's the super chats and everybody's getting money. And the problem is with the super chats, okay, that's fine. However, it's like setting up more celebrities and Willy Wonkas to have Oompa Loompas. I mean, I'm very old soul and I'm watching this happen, and it bothers me. So these light workers can live in 5D, and yet they're still expecting the minions to pay money. Does that make sense?
I do get that, and I have a struggle with that, and I'm quite honest about it all. All my life I've shared my gifts and not charged a thing. Doesn't matter where I was at, what platform I was using, Pal Talk for almost 11 years, daily. And anywheres in the world that I went. And the situation now that I'm in, I have to pay my light bill. I have to pay my baker. But guess what, Commander Iltron? I can't buy a session. I can't buy an appointment. So that tells me that that is not the way. But how do I make this happen? Because I do need to survive. And I am worthy. I am divine. I entrust the universe. They always give me everything I need but 99 cents. I get that. However, what about the beings who are totally given everything that they have, but yet that energy that is on this planet right now that's blocking and stopping the just rewards, the ability to survive, because that's how they've gotten us. That's how they've pegged us lifetime after lifetime, is we usually starved to death, or we usually went without everything. And we were downed by society as being poor. Well, if spirituality is so good, why are you so poor? You know, there's so much conflict with that. That should be a whole show.
Well, I think what's happening is people are choosing timelines, and when they plug into that fiat, that energy, that is the timeline they're choosing. Because with the bifurcation, there's actually going to be 3 timelines. So it used to be 2, but then when we went and the aurora rays got involved, we're doing a 3-way bifurcation. So it's just what it is.
Well, I can tell you without a doubt, and I will double check myself again, because that's what I do over and over. I am not in the timeline of Black Mind. I am not in the timeline of, I'm in the timeline that I am divine and sovereign of the Creator, and all my birthrights are endowed upon and bestowed upon my being. That's where I'm at, and that's where I keep my focus. That doesn't change things. So maybe I need to take a deeper look at something.
Let's talk about the elementals.
Yeah. But your message was absolutely correct and spot on. Do not follow anyone. You're gonna, if you read a book and you go, oh, I knew that already, that's validation of what you knew and what you contain and what you are. So if anything validates your being and ignites your soul, that doesn't mean you need to follow. No one is above and no one is below. We are all here to walk together in oneness. And if I know how to do the plumbing and Commander Iltron knows how to do the roof, then we've got the house half built. So together. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so before we get into, no, we'll do the elementals and then we'll show the video, because this video, I prepare you guys, it is breathtaking. All right, let's go, Commander Iltron. Sorry for my
Well, there's
my thing.
There's 3 types of divas, both working with subhuman and superhuman levels. Each group of divas has specific work and methods to attain their goals and evolutionary purposes. The evolution of the divas is speeding up the synchronization with the evolution of the human family. Divas, you got to understand there's a difference between the divas and the nature spirits, and it needs to be distinguished, because the divas are actually the architects that guides forces to give form, structure, and energy to the plant world. They carry the archetypical patterns for each of the material forms, whereas the nature spirits actually do the work of building the plants. They channel the etheric forces they receive into physically constructing that particular plant patterns that they are receiving from the divas. So the nature spirits are like the physical workers who carry out the architect blueprint. They vary in size from 1 inch to 4 feet tall. The nature spirits are mostly composed of the etheric matter. Very few people on the planet Earth have been able to fully visualize them because they unplug the DNA. So have you ever stopped and thought about what causes a flower or plant to bloom? Or why does it a certain color or a certain fragrance? I know you have, Patricia. I know you. There is a level of I know you. I know there's a level of consciousness of the tiny etheric beings who work to manifest these qualities, okay? The third solar plane of the Lord Ethereal, the Glowenheim solar plane. That's where the elementals and the dragons come from. And then there's the 7th solar plane of Lord Ahura, which is the perfume and the scent plane. The plant kingdom on planet Earth is one of the most advanced in the galaxy, guys. We have an amazing array of nature spirits and elementals in very complex formation to provide so many variations of flora fauna that we as humans, we get to experience these. It's so magical. And that's where the grounding comes in. And then the more you ground, the more you talk to the Yetis, the more you get in, the more information you're going to get, because they want to talk to you. The trees want to talk to you. And they love hearing from you. They love it when you bring them gifts. I mean, that's just what I wanted to share. The nature spirits on Earth, they're called gnomes. Of course, the spirits of the water are undines. The fire are salamanders, which is one of my favorites. The nature spirits of the air are called wind sylphs or sylphs. And they're basically made up of etheric substance that is unique and specific to their particular element. There are living entities inhabiting in the world of their own. They have the power to change size and appearance at will. For instance, like the wind sylphs can be as large as the planet Jupiter. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. But there are many kinds of, yeah, they can get big. That's why if you're seeing chemtrails, just simply call in the wind sylphs during your 12D building your light body and call in the wind sylph. They'll come in and clear out your atmosphere. You know, focus on fixing things, not on problems.
Yes.
Okay.
Solutions. Yes.
Exactly. You know, bring your energy there. And then the gnomes each each are working with particular parts of Earth. The gnomes are really big as far as the mineral and the gem kingdoms. The gnomes work with the hierarchy of the minerals and the gemstones. People have a hard time realizing that the minerals, rocks, minerals are actually alive. The signature, they're alive. The signature life in the mineral kingdom is the crystal formation that the gnome has created. The mineral kingdom is the most important in life because without crust on Earth, we don't have a foundation. The animals, the human kingdom could not survive. Whereas the undines are the elementals that compose the water. They're etheric in nature and they exist within the water itself. And that's why they can't be seen with the normal physical vision. Okay, because they're constantly under the water. Let me see, did I forget any? Oh, I want to talk to you about the negative. There are negative elementals, guys.
Okay.
That's why it's so important. When you start thinking thoughts of fear, violence, sadness, you create these little beings, which are called into the astral elementals. Okay. And you basically loosen them. They get lodged and create energetic blocks in the human aura or your energy field. So you got to try to stay out of those so that you're not creating the negative things. So always try to focus on positive things. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You create the energy frequency that you are literally attracting, if that makes sense. I try to make it as simple as possible.
Well, I just want to ask a question with that, just to follow up for the viewers. Is okay, so we all slip up, we get into fear, and we unlock these little beings, and they put blocks in our aura. So calling in the positive elementals or doing the work ourselves to clear those blocks and remove those elementals, which one would you suggest?
Focus on the positive. There's going to be days, everyone has a bad day here. Okay. The lower densities, it's very difficult. You're a grid worker. You're doing amazing stuff out there. And there's going to be days you're going to slip up and that's okay, because you're going to simply just, I don't have no longer consent to that. That's not my thoughts. And 12D shield, get right back on, you just jump right back on the horse or get back in the spaceship and we just go. We have to, we're going to make mistakes. And that's the part of learning. You got to allow yourself to forget what hurts you, but you cannot forget the lesson. Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. And Earth teaches by experience, not by examples. So it's really important. If you're experiencing something, it doesn't always mean that you brought it forward, but it does mean that you have to take the action of it. So the blame and the shame and all that, get rid of that. Okay, it's here. Like Commander Iltron said, okay, now what do I do? Oh my gosh. I burnt the potatoes, okay, so soak the pot, put a new pot of potatoes on, or maybe I don't need potatoes. Maybe I'm going to have carrots. Change it, use change in a positive way.
Absolutely.
So are we ready to take a quick break? Because I don't know, these videos that you and your team do on your TikTok channel, I've never seen anything like them. I have to just say, and I'm not just being biased, but this one and the Yeti one, they only keep getting better and better. So your team are doing those. They are amazing, and I love them so much. So Sierra, if you're ready, love, we're gonna take and Sierra is my beautiful producer, and she just makes this show so easy to do. So Sierra, if we're going to take a quick break and we're going to show the healing elementals video, and we'll be right back after this break.
Beloveds, perform your personal 12D shield with platinum liquid light. Once in your shield, call upon other modalities to work with aligning healthful frequencies in your body. If you're having any health challenges with a non-specific body part or internal organ, you can ask the elementals to live within that organ, within the tissue. and work to repair and restore the organ to its perfect representation of the divine blueprint. Ask your God source to send in the aurora light elementals to the organ and tissue you need repaired. Give them permission to live inside your organ to fully heal it, completely and totally. It is best to work in co-creation and focus with the elementals on visualizing your body part completely restored and full of healing liquid light, at least the first few times when making your request. They may stay as long as necessary and in harmony. You may feel them as tiny little assembly line workers that are buzzing with energy and may hear buzzing sounds like hummingbirds or bumblebees. You can perceive the tininess, yet profound quality of the interaction as you hone your ability to perceive these energies. Thank you.
Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. I was just telling Ciara that my audience is used to me talking it up a storm during the break and I get caught. But hello, how are you? We're all real, aren't we? Okay, so we have, wow, a little under 10 minutes. Time goes by when you're having a blast. I'm going to bring Commander Iltron forward. And first, we're going to have a little bit of talk about the eclipse, exactly what it means and what it is, since it is the show for today. And then if we have a few minutes, she's going to give us some information she's received on Maui. So take it away, Commander Iltron.
Okay, guys. We just got hit with the sunspot 3615 yesterday, which brought in the M class 2.1 solar flare. And then early this morning, we had the M 7.4 and is being followed by geomagnetic storms. I'm sorry, I can't speak in English right now. That is all. We're ramping up for hopefully another X flare here really soon. But what you need to understand is that with this flare on Monday and Tuesday, most of the sunspots carry a positive and a negative charge within it, which causes filaments and flares. This sunspot was different because it had both charges, which is really exciting because what's happened is we are gradually able to conduct plasma light. We are able to change the atomic structure of our bodies, which is carbon based. So our carbon atom of 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons is actually changing and literally being ionized into the alchemical shift for the elemental body, which is changing. It's the aurora re-encryption via plasma light. We are evolving into the 777 structure. Of course, the Ascended Masters are already the 888 structure, but I thought you'd like to know that. Yeah. Also, the eclipse that's coming up, there's a big buzz out there, fear, false evidence appearing real. Really simple, folks. Watch it, look at it, enjoy it. Understand the moon is a satellite. It's not even what everyone thinks it is. It's a satellite, okay? The eclipse shifts the foundation and the structure of the cosmic order to push consciousness evolution into another pathway. Yeah. So the result is going to be shakedown of the status quo and breaking up of the stagnant energies. That is the whole purpose of it, all right, guys? So I don't want you to be in fear. Let's just embrace it, watch it, have fun. People that are not ready for the light, yeah, they're going to get a little twisted. Let's just keep it real. All right. So that's what I have on that. Okay. It's pretty simple.
I just want to interject just a couple little things. Number one, I want to do this to a shout out to all the earth workers that we work with around this beautiful space and time called Earth. Because about 3.5 months ago, I was out in my yard, I'll just say yard, and I looked up and I was told that our sun had birthed, and it was back to the pure plasma. So what Commander Iltron just shared there validates that immensely. And the other thing is, so this shift in consciousness is not only a shift in consciousness for spirit, soul, light being, everything, soul groups. It is a physical remembrance of how this divine physical form became on this space and time. And the other thing was quickly is that you're talking about the plants and the only place could be in the galaxy. Well, I've always been told that Mother Earth is the divine library, the living library of divine love in consciousness. So, okay, I'm going to hand it back over.
Okay, we were talking about Maui. There's a lot of disinformation out there about different timelines and what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. All right. Okay. Many of the elites, they fled to the Hawaiian Islands, okay? Because underneath Maui is an interdimensional access to the inner timelines or the openings into the inner earth. And this area is now being reconfigured as a base of operations for the Dark Cabal members, their representatives, and, you know, basically celebrities, anyone that's involved in, you know, the bad things that's going on with the children. So they decided to make that one of their repurposed headquarters for operations against humanity. Okay. That's what happened. And then, of course, we decided to take it down. All right. I have to be careful what I say. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information because during the first Lemurian Holocaust, a massive orchestration to hide and bury the contents of historical timelines included the holographic disc translations.
Yes.
They were actually transmitted into crystals and then buried throughout the chain of Hawaiian Islands and the other island regions. Okay. I'm sure you've heard of, I know Kelly online has heard of the record keeper crystals.
Yeah.
As an effort of these, yeah, you've heard of them too, Patricia. Okay.
Definitely.
As a result of these efforts to preserve the Christos Essene Templar timelines during the Lemurian Holocaust, these are specifically referred to as the Lemurian crystals. This was a method to hide and bury the sacred knowledge about the Stargate mechanics and the map of the 12 tribes genetics on the Earth during the galactic wars, and that were occurring throughout multiple dimension timelines simultaneously. So when we incarnate on the planet, we have genetic time codes in our DNA related to the planetary gates, dimensional systems, that is part of our main human tribal identity.
Yes,
That's
and it
why
also connects with our soul DNA. So when we merge them both,
absolutely. And that's why you've traveled to different geography places. You were attracted to different places because you were called to be there.
Yeah.
So you're activating your human tribal identity, personal planetary keys when you activate your inner Christos by running the 12D ray. Back to that 12th dimensional shield, guys. By doing that, you're stringing 144 harmonics throughout your light body, otherwise called the 12D shield. That identity has many lifetimes and has participated with the consciousness evolution cycles of assembling our DNA codes in the angelic human root races evolving throughout our solar system. All right. So pay attention, because during the previous Atlantean cataclysm, each of the groups of the angelic 12 Essene tribes were entrusted as guardians of the section of the Emerald Founder records. And again, there's a lot of disinformation out there. These records held extensive consciousness knowledge about the star origins and the genetic template information that was recorded on the 12 holographic discs. These discs contain ancient builder technology templates, complex math for building complex architecture for levels of structural planning for physical communities, as well as for writing code for projecting holographic realities. The results of these extremely advanced building methods can be recognized a lot in our ancient civilization architecture, right? Everybody's seen it, which mainstream wants to hide and not talk about. Okay, these advanced civilizations had access to the holographic disc and held the blueprints for archaeology today. All right. So the ancient builder technologies that were in existence before the Atlantean flood, these discs included transmissions of advanced quantum physics knowledge outlining specific blueprints for morphogenesis of species, as well as mapping out the planetary Stargate access coordinates. Okay, guys? They included humanity's cosmic genetic origins and history, ascension and timeline mechanics, consciousness alchemy formulas, and DNA genetic key codes that correspond with a particular tribe and planetary Stargate transmission. This is so important because we actually, the angelic beings, we carried this in with us when we incarnated on the planet. So try to wrap your mind around that.
Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on solutions for the whole being.